Hey guys, Lycan here. So, over the years I've had many a critique about my music, and I'll admit some of these critiques, like those made by Arcade in that video on my song Magic, have been fair criticisms, which I've at least made some attempt to act on. But then there are criticisms made by, to say at least, less informed or experienced people, who quite frankly don't know what they're talking about, yet speak as though they know how to do my job better than I do, despite often having zero experience in music production whatsoever. Frankly, I've wanted to make a video addressing these people and their criticisms for a while, explaining why I do things the way I do them, and not the way they tell me to. But I haven't been motivated enough till recently when I got one last set of somewhat uninformed criticisms from a good Discord friend of mine. So, to that one friend, congrats, you're the lucky winner of the honor of being the namesake to this video. And because of the timing of this, I decided I'd answer all of these criticisms simultaneously in one video in a demonstrative yet highly sarcastic fashion, befitting of an April Fool's Day troll. That is, I've made a song that takes as many of these poor critiques as I can, so y'all can hear just why I don't take these pieces of advice given. But before I play my anti-masterpiece of electronic sarcasm, I'd like to run down just exactly what critiques have been given so you all know what to expect from the piece. However, out of fairness to the individuals from which these are sourced, I will leave their names anonymous because I don't want anyone sending these people messages mocking their takes on my music. It's completely unnecessary, not to mention wrong of me to encourage such things against these individuals. This aside, listing off the aforementioned critiques I used, which I've been collecting for the last 2 or 3 years I've been planning this project. 1. Incorporate elements of the beats used by SoundCloud rappers, especially XXX. In particular, make use of the drum patterns and basses used in that genre. Note, this remark was made with full acknowledgement of the fact that the 808 basses there are often oversaturated. AKA, this dude knowingly asked for a poorly mixed and excessively simple bass pattern. Let that sink in. 2. Make your melodies simpler, yet with more variation. This is a remark that I find to be somewhat self-contradictory for me to do beyond the extent that I do it already, as the level to which I do it is at comparable levels to professionals I take after as is, but I'll try my best for this. 3. Make hardcore your specialist genre. Alright, look. Hardcore in and of itself isn't something I object to in the slightest, but you're asking me to, from here on out, work primarily in a genre that garners less listeners and is not what my listener base is built around. Plus, I object to being a one-genre artist in the first place, as in the words of Robert A. Heinlein, specialization is for insects. But, even if I didn't object to that, hardcore probably wouldn't even be in the top 5 genres I choose to specialize in. 4. Use a square wave for your sub-bass instead of a sine wave. I can't even count the number of producers who would disagree with this advice, but this video is all about letting the audience make the choices, so consider that box checked off. 5. Make your songs more based in the chords instead of in the top melody. I mean, it's not a bad idea with respect to my approaches to genres like electro house and complextro, but most of what I do isn't nearly as conducive to chord-based production as one might think. Regardless, done. And 6. Make the bass louder in your songs. This is from a dude who comments this on literally every song of mine that he listens to, including my newest and best mixed ones, between you and me. Well, back to pre-2019 me it is, I suppose. There's 2 more major critiques I get, which I was unable to work into this project for various reasons. The first is I should incorporate more of the production elements used in Billie Eilish songs, which I couldn't think of how to use without conflicting with the fusion of mumble rap and hardcore that's already been established for this project. The second, more ludicrous suggestion is I need to make Vivo-esque music videos for my songs, because that's apparently my number one obstacle to getting views these days. Let me start by saying, Look at many of the artists in this industry that I've primarily taken after. DJ VI, Waterflame, F777, DJ Nate, Boom Kitty, X-Roller, Envy, just to name a few. All of these artists have been in the industry for 12 years or so on average, and in that time, all accrued roughly my desired level of success. And yet, between all 7 of the named artists combined, there's a grand total of 5 such music videos, I believe. Doesn't sound like that's a problem. Secondly, to make a music video, you can either go for a live action video or an animated one. On one hand, I have neither the know-how to make an animated video myself nor the money to commission one. I have minimal animation experience, and it would cost approximately half the value of my family's house just to commission one animated music video of average length of my songs. And that's for 2D animation, let alone 3D. Now you see why Transformers Prime was choked out time and time again by budget limitations. And while making a live-action one myself is probably the most cost-efficient approach, it requires locations, sufficient audio and visual recording material, and most importantly, actors. Any of these I have at all, I have in insufficient quantities and would still be bankrupted trying to get enough for a single video. In other words, unless I become successful enough to make nearly $1 million a year or more, which requires an amount of success I quite frankly neither need nor desire, music videos are off the table, period. So without further ado, it's time to show what I've made. By the way, I'd like to make a note to the viewers. This is the first non-remix song of mine since late 2019 that is completely copyright-free, meaning you are free to do with this piece as you wish, with no fine print. I am doing this solely out of principle, as a truly yet teaching moment for my critics, and nothing more. But I'll be surprised if you do make use of it, as I don't see why you'd even want to even give this a like, as you'll understand when you hear this, let alone anything else. So, with all of these remarks addressed, this is for the critics. This song is the summation of your fantasy.